Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect in the darkest hours of the night here. Today's beverage is a lukewarm yet fairly healthy green tea. So welcome back to Prison Architect, and in the previous episode we sort of finished off our death row / cleared for transfer facility. The original idea was to have the death row area over here and then all of the cleared for transfer stuff on the right, which means high, medium and then low risk. However, I decided after the fact to do this episode, which is the sort of wrapping up of everything. I thought we'd done that, but there's some tweaks and changes to be made, certainly for policy, for the for the programs, which is all kinds of set wrong. Actually, it's not all set wrong, but I did just I basically just assigned loads of stuff in here and didn't think about it too much, which is on me, so we'll sort that out. And yes, I've also got some more inmates because 12 death row inmates are going to arrive. This is obviously the death row facility. I'm looking for someone called Mark Lee and John Jervian, so let's have a quick scout around because we do need to go through the standard procedure here. There is a prisoner Lee. To be fair, we don't even have many death row inmates in here because previously we had our pool run out, so our intake has been hacked in because of, well, we've mentioned it many times before in the series if you're not aware. Basically, this is not normally something you can do. However, like I say, for the sake of gameplay in the series, we've made it so we can get as many death row inmates as we actually like. There's also another inmate, but I'm going to leave it for now. But yes, what we're going to do is finish things off. We've got 13 death row inmates arriving. Obviously, they'll populate this area here. We'll then obviously check out all of this area, which is your high, medium, and then low risk. Most of this is actually completed. I've changed a couple of doors here and there. People have mentioned these doors, but I actually don't mind the visitor doors because some people still need to come into to do certain programs and such, so that's fine where they are. It is a little bit of a security issue, but you know, we can manage it. But yeah, I certainly want to do some tweaks and changes. Flooring is going to be changed up in the right here. That's going to be something we do across this episode, but we also obviously want to keep an eye on the inmates in terms of their reform and such. So you can see we've got like Bob Bobbington here. We have a guy that has served 14.9 years of 136-year stretch, so they're not getting out anytime soon. In terms of grading, their reoffending chance is 16, which is really good. However, they can only really go through parole if, well, A, there's parole, and there isn't in this area. More on that later on, because I think I am going to probably change that. And secondly, I do want to have a look at work and training and the programs and such. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. So anyway, the first thing I want to do is alter, like I said, I mentioned about parole. We haven't got parole in here. Now, I did originally change this area where we've got our cinema here, which is fine. I think it works all okay. But I do want to alter it so we have at least one parole. Now, where could you put that? Well, there's many places you can put it. If we just go over to rooms and parole here, it's a minimum size of 5x5 and needs a visitor table, and quite frankly the easiest way to do it is to do that, and that is now a legitimate parole room. However, is it a good parole room? I don't know. Let's just double check here. Over to, where is it? Oh, actually, do I want to do that, or do I want to section it off? Well, yeah, I'm not really too sure. Is there any need for parole in this area, for example? Reoffending chances 89%, 76. Let's go ahead and quickly cycle through 52, 97, 97. No, so I think the idea is that, I guess it's more of a thematic thing, truth be told, that we do have a parole in the low risk area. So in order to be even eligible for parole, not only do you have to meet the criteria, which is a lot of criteria, mainly your sentence has to be at least half or 75% through the list. You have to get low risk category in order to obviously be eligible for that. But yeah, it's going to be down the bottom here. Like I say, I could change this up and alter it physically, but that should be fine. I'm not going to put in 2 because we don't need that. What I do need to do though is go to programs and alter this, because this is all manner of wrong. So how is it wrong? Well, I just set up far too much. So Let's go from the top all the way down and we'll get this hopefully set correctly. So kitchen safety and hygiene, I'm going to stop one of them. The reason for that is I just set 3 because I just assumed that every single one of these has all of these rooms, which it doesn't. It's only the medium and low sec that has a lot of these rooms. So foundation education has to be run in a classroom. We've only got, let me pause it for a moment, we've only got 2 classrooms. So one here in medium and one in low. Spiritual guidance, we do have the 3, so we can have that set, which is fine. Death row appeal is also good. And animal therapy, we'll remove one of those. We will go for conflict resolution. That is in a meeting room. Again, we've only got the 2 of those, so we're going to remove that one. 3 strikes training is a classroom. We're going to remove one of those. In fact, 3 strikes training we could probably get rid of. Reform prisoner consultation, we'll remove one of those as well. Keeping spiritual guidance, let me just double check 3 strikes training. 5 interested, so we will run that one. Workshop safety, okay, so I'll cover that in a moment. That's a more complicated matter. Pharmacological treatment to drug addiction. I am going to start that, but I don't think it's going to work, but we'll see about that one. Alcoholics group, 3 in the queue, 1 finished, 1 passed 100%. I don't know if we can run that. Actually, we can run that in all 3 areas because it's just a common room, but that means running 3 for 3 for 3. Okay, no, we're probably going to leave that. Solar panel development, more on that in a moment. Flower therapy, I would very much like, but again, that's going to be problematic. And 3 strikes program, which is a common room. Only 2 interested at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to what I'm going to do is unpause it, reschedule all programs, and then I'm going to go to edit because this is where it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. So we can see that we have kitchen safety and hygiene, and the game has put that in the medium sec and the min sec kitchen. That is perfectly fine. That's exactly what we need. For the foundation education program, we want that in the classroom for medium and min sec, and we do have it here and here. Now it has, as you can see, split it up. Ideally you would want it something like this to match up, and yes, you can run it like that. It just means bringing in 2 teachers, so that should be fine. We've also got the same for the meeting room for the minimum and medium sec. Reform prisoner consultation, but it's got it wrong, so it's actually running it twice in medium where it should be something like this. So move that down to there and there. So yeah, the game had got it a little bit wrong there. Well, that's on me as well, to be fair. So medium meeting room and minimum meeting room, you've got reform prisoner, then animal therapy, then conflict resolution. So that is all good. That should be everything about right. We've got death row appeal, which is, we've got some in shared, which I'm going to remove a couple of those then. So I'm going to have to turn off the scheduler, go back to here. All rooms staff only. Okay, we'll have to check on that one. So I'm going to go to deployment and change this to shared and reschedule, and then that's probably going to break it because I've rescheduled, but I'm going to remove 2 of the death row appeals. And to be fair, I should also run, where is it? Parole hearing. I'm going to start. How much is parole hearing? Parole hearing is actually free, but I'm not going to run more than, actually, because it's free, I can run as many as I want. Let's reschedule and edit. So we'll double check. Anything with a pin in it, like you see here, is going to automatically stick to where it is, so that's fine. So kitchen has moved from one kitchen to the other. We've got 2 medium kitchens and 2 minimum kitchens. It's shifted it over, so physically it might have been in here rather than up here, but it doesn't really matter as long as the category is correct. That's the main thing we're looking at. We have 3 strikes training, which is being shifted over to later on. Okay, 3 strikes training. What was 3 strikes training ran as? Let's have a quick look at that one. 3 strikes training is psychologist. Okay, so that's why it's moved it over to there. Conflict resolution and reform prisoner consultation. I'm going to double check those. So reform prisoner consultation is someone that comes in. That's reform prisoner, so that's fine. And 3 strikes training is a psychologist. Conflict resolution is a reformed prisoner, so that's fine. Animal therapy is also an animal therapist, which is external. So all of these are fine. The only thing that was a bit of a problem was the 3 strikes training, which is shifted around. So even though I've pinned it there, it did move it over. It's basically pinned it to the category rather than the actual time, but that's all okay. Going to go down here. Pharmacological treatment to drug addiction is shared infirmary. That's okay. Death row appeal, we'll remove these, and then the parole hearing we're going to put into parole shared. That is wrong. Okay then. So why is that wrong? I think because we have we've got 3 parole hearings. That's wrong. Let me remove 2 parole hearings. I'm going to go down to death row appeal and start that. So death row appeal needs to be run in death row, and I'm going to run a couple more of that one. So how many have we got? This is something I don't often do, run through this list, because quite frankly I don't know how interesting it is for you. Death row appeal, death row appeal. There we go. That's all set. Like so, and that hopefully will run. And then you got parole hearing is in shared, but that's going to change in but a moment. So these areas here, we have to visitor only. What I'm going to do is change it to max sec, and well, that's going to be a bit of a problem, isn't it? Yeah, max sec. Okay, that can change to visitor only. Sorry, that can change to visitor only. Yeah, that's actually fine, that one. But these ones here, a bit different. That's the one. This is going to be a... Where is it? It's going to be a low risk. Minimum sec. There we go, parole. So it looks a bit weird like that. And yes, I could shift the tables along. People have also said put in additional tables in here. Let's have a quick look. Visitor tables. Would one fit in there nicely? Actually, it would fit in there quite nicely. So I am going to do that. So we'll do some of that. That's fine. Let's go to reschedule all and then edit. And then we'll double check to see if this is okay. That looks wrong again. So that needs to go into, there we go, kitchen medium sec. That's all right. We have death row appeal to go up there because, yeah, we can't have it where it was. And then finally, you've got 3 spiritual guidances for minimum, medium, and max sec. And then finally, a parole hearing in the parole minimum sec. And it's changed that one because we've changed the category of that one. So basically, hopefully, take a breath. It's all okay now. So... while they're cracking on with that, I do want to think about changing... what's cracking on with that? What I mean is... while the programs are now being sorted again, because it's going to take a day or so for the inmates to get reassigned to the correct programs and things like that. I'm just going to double check while I'm here as well the prison labour, which prisoners are assigned as far as I can tell. Yeah, that's all good. All right. I don't think I need to run any more. That's fine. Staff programs, I don't need to run any there. We are on positive daily cash flow, so I do want to alter our policy as well, but I'll check that in a moment. And actually, before we do that, well, while working on that, we want the workers to be building. So we've got our high-risk area here, and this is where we've got we were going to go with the accent of the grates around the edges and then some sort of flooring, and we've went with the grates in here followed by the limestone, which I think works exceptionally well, and it's a nice colour scheme, and does accent, like I say, the grates well, and goes well with the wall. In fact, I would like to make a prison just fully with that combination. Over to high risk. Similar thing, great. And then we went with the iron floor. Over on here, on reflection, it's a bit... it's fine. It works fine. Mosaic floor is walk speed fast. And yeah, maybe that's a problem. I would like to maybe knock it to maybe normal. But I don't know what other flooring we could have. Don't really want carpet. Probably going to leave that there. This one, however, this is our low-risk area, and, well, I think it does work. We left it as is. You can see the mixture of the mosaic. You've got almost a similar colour in terms of the grey-blue type of colour there, and then you've got the sort of dark stone colour. So they both sort of work. However, I do want to alter this one, just for the sake of theme, you understand. So we can either go with Sulaco, which is high-tech, goes great with the Utani walls, and then cargo floor. Cargo floor is a lot cheaper, which is a thing. Fancy tiles. What I'm going to do is put fancy tiles in here. And this is just going to be a test, you understand. So there's our fancy tiles. And then I'm also going to go with the cargo floor in here as well. So there's the cargo floor. And then there's the fancy tiles. So the workers are going to crack on over there. Good. Right, so how do we want to do this? I mentioned about expansion. I'll cover that now as well while they're doing that. So I did say about maybe expanding to the right and then adding in some more work. So things like a workshop. We could also have in a forestry, which if I spell it right, there we go. We could have a forestry in there, so more opportunities to work. And also, what would be nice is, and this always comes as a bit of a surprise to me, is the flower therapy. Everybody really likes flower therapy in the game. It seems to be one of the most popular programs. If we go over to, apart from probably spiritual guidance, I think spiritual guidance is the most popular program. Let's go ahead and go to our, where is it, programs, and we can see that we have 5 interested, 3 interested, 6 in the queue for spiritual guidance, but there's already 186 finished and 58 passed. That's 31%. We've got 12 in the queue for death row appeal, 6 interested for animal therapy. It goes down and down and down, and then eventually you get to like flower therapy. 6 interested there. I think it was 10 before, but yeah, it seems to be quite a popular one. Oh, it's down to 5 now. Okay, maybe they've spoke too soon. Anyway, what I mean is that yeah, I always forget about flower therapy. You need to have it outside. Flower garden, yes, outdoor, minimum size 5x5. I think the next build I'll have will try and incorporate it from the very beginning. So I could expand to the right and add in all of those rooms, like I say, workshop, flower therapy room, well, basically a flower garden. I wouldn't go for any farming on. It was never in the remit for this build, and frankly, I don't think we could. I don't think it would be of a great benefit to expand there. Are the workers cracking on with the flooring? Not yet. Although I have got rid of a lot of the workers, you understand, so they're probably a little bit disgruntled. Let's see then. So I'm going to go through. I'm looking for Sandy, Trish, and Jervian. And we can see we've got a lot more inmates in here. So there you go, lots more inmates because we did bring them in. Yes, and looks like they're not in there. So there's Jervian there. So likelihood of clemency. Just going to double check there. This is John Devlantor Jervian, and yes, during his command of the Ghost Fleet has ordered the destruction of several ships that were not following regulation formation. Okay, that's obviously a reference to something. Sentenced to multiple crimes for murder, torture, armed robbery, etc. We'll authorise that. And then complete. And we probably have enough time to go for maybe the process of Sandy here as well. So just moving the file across so we can see. So Sandy here. We have prisoner number 159900517 and multiple crimes sentenced for murder, aggravated assault, etc. Yes, there's a lot of etceteras there. And there we go, there's that process now finished. Right, how are we doing over here? Okay, so there is the flooring going in. My immediate reaction is this. It's a lot brighter. This is alright, would work, but this one stands out a lot more. And it's also cheaper. Now, I don't know why it's cheaper. I have a feeling it's because it's like the default. This is what's come with the game as standard. What I mean by that is this fancy tiles is from the original. Like, I think that's been in the game from the very beginning, or at least a very early build of the game. So I don't know whether that actually makes any difference. I'm really not sure. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this area up with the fancy tiles. Now, naturally, it is a bit of an overhaul. And also, it means going around what we've already built. So I need to pay close attention to the rooms so I don't get it wrong. Although I can guarantee there'll be some issues in places. But I will obviously do my best. And we'll see whether or not that's enough or not. Let's see. So it's going to take a while. Oh, there you go. I knew there was... someone did mention in previous comments about there's still a little bit left, wall-wise. So I do need to fix that up. And I'm sure there'll be other bits as well that I've missed. This is one of the disadvantages with doing cloning and moving over. Okay. That's the bulk of that done. I'm sure it's... I'm confident it's the bulk of the build. So there we go, that's fine. And let's see, it's going to take them quite a while to crack on with that, so we'll let them do that. While they are changing all of the flooring, let me go ahead and check out our policy. So this is, again, what people have suggested. I think it's a great idea that at the moment we have our transfers, and we've obviously covered that. In fact, we'll double check transfers while we're here. We'll approve one transfer for this medium inmate, and let's see, let's go for transfers. Interesting. Total number of prisoners motivated to qualify, 0. Why is that? Why is that? Ah, maybe I've give them too many amenities? So it's total number of prisoners from high risk motivated to qualify is 0 to go to medium. But there's 11 prisoners want to go to medium down to low. Why is the 0 then? Is it because of the chapel? I'm going to do a test and remove chapel. Might take a while to sort. Zero prisoners are ready to transfer to medium sec. 9 cells are available. Okay. There are sentence adjustments. Yeah, we did change that. I often get confused with the transfer category and the... where is it? The sentence adjustments. I'm not going to touch the sentence adjustments anymore, but I do want to alter policy. That's curious that there's no inmates wanting to move over. Okay. I don't know why that is. Yeah, I don't know why that is. Okay. I'll have to see about that one. Let's go ahead and go over to policy. So, for our high-risk inmates, we don't want to alter the punishment. But for the medium risk, we do want to change this. If you attack staff, you go up a category. For murder, you go to maximum. Serious injury, up again, I think. Attack prisoner. I'm not sure. Basically, if they misbehave in medium, I want them to move back over to the other building. Certainly for murder, we want them to maximize it, because what I'll do is I'll go with match, and we'll go match with medium. So if you're in low risk and there is a murder, you immediately move over to max. That makes sense to me. For serious injury, you just want to go up one and attack staff. So you go from medium up to high risk, but you go low up to medium. Attack prisoner, I think you can go up for that as well. Yeah, okay. The rest of them is going to be all right. Escape attempt, we're probably going to keep that as is. That's about right, I think. Yeah, we'll leave it there for that one. Okay, good. Fine. Like I say, the curious one is the transfers. Oh, there you go. It's starting to move. It's starting to move now. That's okay. That's all right. That's what we want to see. Transfers. 11 prisoners are motivated to qualify to go from medium to low. And 1 prisoner from maximum. Okay. It's actually easier to go from medium further down because the criteria is lighter. There you go. That's one of the things I need to change as well. Criteria, review transfers, approve all, approve all. There we go. Move them down. So more processing of the inmates, more transfer. That's good. I do want to try and improve the grading over here as well. I'll check that out in a moment. I also want to do a full shakedown because we haven't done one in I don't know how long. It's been so long since we've done that. Just going to double check a couple of things before we move off from checking final connections. 8 CCTV, 8 CCTV, 8 CCTV. Phone tap is in. Door connections 24. Yep, that seems to be all right. That's good. We do have 3 inmates in death row that we can go through the process. Patrols-wise, let's just pause it and make it easier. Guards are assigned. Dogs are assigned, although it appears there's some missing. A lot of them are moving around. Armed guards we've got assigned as well. Deployment-wise, we don't have anyone assigned. I think maybe a few more doggos, potentially. Well, the best thing to do is to place them in the armory, because then they're going to get anything they need. And then they go on patrol immediately. Okay. Yeah. I think it's because a lot have to be in the kennel, you understand? How many we're up to now? 50 dog handlers. You think that's far too much. Let's approve more transfers. Look at that. There's loads more inmates transferred. In fact, a lot of inmates are going from high risk to medium and then straight to low. And that's for a couple of reasons. Firstly, there's been obviously a lot of waiting time from inmates being in the high-risk area. So they've already met the criteria from go one to the other to the next. So they sort of skip, essentially. They skip a lot of that. In fact, probably the ones that are not eligible are most likely never going to be eligible or have recently committed some sort of policy violation. Yeah. Okay, more prisoners are motivated to qualify. That's the motivation. We want to see the motivation there. We're currently on... it's sleep time, actually. I'm going to do a shakedown, all sectors. It's probably not the time to do it. 1,957 places. Wow, that is actually exceptionally surprising. I didn't think we'd have that many places to search, but we will have to go through this one. There will be some things that we have... Oh, what's happening there? A tunnel! Wow. So... that's something that is exceptionally rare, certainly in this build. If we found a tunnel before, yeah, it's been a while. We've searched over 1,400 places, and we've only found 1 sedative syringe and then drink alcoholic brew, and we'll double check where that's come from. Almost certainly it's been made, and well, it's actually not. It's been taken from these vending machines. Vending machines can spawn that. Yeah, you can see this being taken from there. It's not a huge issue for us, so I'm not going to worry about it. But it is a thing. Look at that there. There's another tunnel. That's now 2 tunnels that we found. So that's a little bit concerning, actually, because that guy got quite far there. So we have removed the tunnels. I'll click and drag and make sure there's no other tunnels. I don't think there is. But we haven't finished searching everywhere, you understand, so There we go. We are on to 1,858 places searched. Danger levels going down. You can see that this area is being changed up. It's a lot lighter than this one. I don't not like it, but these colours blend in, don't they? These two here. What if I was to change this to be a different colour? What could it be? I think the iron flooring works well with this. But to be fair, I reckon iron flooring would work well in here as well. Would probably work well. No, I'm not going to change it. I'm going to stick to it because, quite frankly, it's just it's not necessary. It isn't necessary. That's all working up. I don't think visitation's necessary actually over here as well. I don't know how many visitation people actually get. We've had a quick look, but not big. Not being a big focus, that's for sure. How are they doing over there? That's all right. Let me just double check the room quality. We can increase the room quality if we were to add in a radio, which would be an exceptionally easy thing to do. There we go. Room quality for the canteen. If we add windows, we would actually gain. Well, we would gain a grade, but it's more of a case of we'd remove the minus. So I'm going to say windows. And window glass. I like the idea of there being maybe a glass window on here, and that should grade up this because there'll technically be a window there. Should we check that? Room quality. The room quality is 5 out of 10. However, if we put in windows, it will remove the negative of -1 no windows. If we surround it with glass walls, we get a +1. The meal quality and variety is currently 0, which means that, you know, it's no positive or minus. You probably understand what 0 means. But yeah, if you change that up, then it'll increase the quality of that. That's something we can actually do, isn't it? Let me double check. Ooh, can I? It's not something I often do. Right, so nutritional policy. So maximum security. No. Death row. Medium and medium. Yeah? That seems to be fine. That's going to be our default. Maximum, medium, medium. They pass death row appeal, they're no longer on death row. That's the incentive, I guess. After that, down to medium. Let's go for variety. Is... No, let's go for quantity is high. But then you go to minimum, and it's high and high. Oh, no, sorry. This is where I get... It's easy to mix up. So medium and medium for meal quantity and variety for maximum security. For medium security, it's high quantity and medium variety. And then for minimum, it's high quantity, high variety. We're going to change. We're not going to alter the parole cutoff. We will equip stun bands because I've been meaning to do that for some time, and that means that money is going to go down a lot. Minus 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. Keeps going. About 12,000 now. I think that was about 15,000 in total, maybe. Right, let me have a quick scout around for flooring violation. So, I think it was fine. Oh, let me just double check this while we're here. Room quality. There we go. What? There you go. Room quality is now 10 out of 10. Excellent. Okay. That's good. Grade 0, 7 and 6. 7 and 6. 10 and 6. I do want to increase the grading here slightly. Let's go with radio. Because I want the grading for this area to be slightly higher than that. Even if it's only slightly, that's all that matters. Similar. Sorry, I was checking flooring and I got distracted. Why did I get distracted? Because it's a day in the week that ends in Y, which means it's always happening. Nope, that's all right. I think that's fine. Logistics room quality. We need to alter the quality of the classroom. Water cooler. And 2 bookshelves. So we'll have a water cooler. There. I think that's all I can really fit in. I could probably put in 2 more bookshelves, but it's going to be in the middle of the room, and I don't like the idea of that. Actually, you know what? Bookshelves. It would actually go underneath the blackboard there. It'll probably look like as if it's fitted up against it. Hopefully it'll look quite okay. It's the yard that's the curious one, because I very much would like the yard to go from not great to better to even better. But I don't think I can alter that one. I need tire apparatus. Running track, no. Size, no. So I can't alter that. What I could do, I could remove a couple of things in these rooms so that the grading is always better. What could I alter? I'd need to remove 2 things from here. Dumbbell rack, bleachers, punch bag. At least 2 of the above objects. Doing that's going to be problematic, isn't it? So if I remove the dumbbell rack, this takes it down to 5. If I remove, say, bleachers, that's going to take it down to only grade 2, because we will remove the +2 for the contains 10 of the above item. Right, okay. Well, there's some obvious ones over here. Dumbbell rack, bleachers, and punch bag. Dismantle. Just going to see what this is like. The idea is, again, to give more amenities to the lower risk, to encourage people to move down. There you go. So that's changed to 3. Contains 10 of the above items. So that's 3. It jumps to 6. Wow. Oh. No, that does actually change things then. That's not bad, actually. Right, okay. I'm going to put the punch bags back in. Not all of them, though. We'll put those punch bags in like that, because then I'm going to remove that one and that one, and hopefully this will then be grade 4. Let's see if what I've said is actually true. No free cells for the prisoner. Why? All these are minimum. We brought in 1 more death row inmate than we can comfortably have. Okay, sorry, prisoner Brindley, you're going to have to make room. Why Brindley? Because you're the first person we came across. And yes, it is pretty much that arbitrary in the facility. For good or ill. We have lots of spare room to take in prisoners. Yes, we did talk about that. Where we could bring in more inmates into, not death row, but to the high, medium and low areas. We could do that. We're not going to, because the whole idea was to progress from death row all the way down to low risk. Room quality then, we've went from 6 to 4. The reason it's that is because I was assuming wrongly, obviously, that you've got dumbbell rack, bleachers, and punch bag. But as long as you have 10 of those, you gain the +2. So that's actually not bad. So I need to drop this down. And the way to do that is to remove probably the punch bags. Dismantle all the punch bags. Why punch bags? Don't know, really. We could remove, if we really wanted to, the weights. And keep the punch bags. Doesn't really matter. As long as we're removing something. Because it's going to remove the dumbbells, and we need to move the... Oh, it's down to 5 now. So I need to remove more punch bags. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh! No, bleach is punch bags. Yeah, it is punch bags, yes, fine. So I thought it was counting the weights benches. It does not. Dismantle those 2. Those 4, in fact. And that should... 2, 4, 6, 8. That should grade it now as less than the medium area. It's 5 down to... There you go. They actually are using it as well. But hopefully, like I say, changing this up, it will... They're still going to cater for the exercise needs. So needs-wise, we're still looking after those needs for the inmates, right? So that's not a problem. We're not depriving them of the ability to meet their needs. We are depriving them of this variety. And then that's all better as it works the way up. Okay, that's fine. Right, so we're going to double check our transfers here. We have 3 prisoners that we can approve of to transfer to medium, and then we've got a total of 8 prisoners that can transfer to low risk. So minimum capacity is 32, same for medium, and maximum is 72. We have 39 minimum, 4 medium, and 24 maximum security. Okay, let me go over to objects and to sell, and I'm just going to sell anything that's in here because we don't need it in storage, and we will now leave it there. That has been Prison Architect, and I think a nice place to round it off. We could have left it in the previous episode. I did plan on doing that, but on reflection, as I said in the edit, that I thought it would be best to really do a full sort of look over the facility to double check everything. And there probably is still something here and there that I might have missed and such, and I accept that. But I'm happy with the transfers. It's obviously still going to take a while for things to cycle through because I've still made some changes. But for the most part, I think it is working well. We have made changes previously to sentence adjustments. We have also got decent intake for death row. We have our policy that we've altered for all of the inmates. So if there is something policy breaking for the low and medium risk, then they may actually go back up to the different categories. So we've got a full cycle now for basically from death row all the way down and then back up. You can't go, I don't think you can go to, it says max. I don't think you can actually go from death row onto, we'll not call it gen pop, but basically the life and not death row areas, so high, medium, and low risk. I don't think you can then jump back up to death row, but I'm not 100%. It wouldn't surprise me. We've went through all the programs and changed the schedule, and that says that there's no equipment for spiritual guidance. I'll have to reschedule it, and I'm going to have to edit the schedule now, aren't I? Those are fine. Those are fine. We'll bring this down. That's not fine, but now it is, and there we go. We've also, and I guess finally, changed our policy as well for food as well. So let's change that. There you go. High for low risk, high and medium for medium risk, and then medium for maximum. And that's a lot of a lot of words. Basically, the lower you go in terms of the category of inmate, the more amenities you have, the better your, I guess, trait. Anyway, we're gonna leave it there for now. That has been a bit of Prison Architect. Overall, happy with the build. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Like I said, there might be the odd thing here and there to be tweaked and changed, but it doesn't. I don't think it's deserving of another episode unless there's something major. But yeah, let me know what you think. And next series, whatever that happens to be, well, let me know what you would like to see. I have an idea, but well, we'll keep it to myself for now. Hope you have enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. Take care. And generic parting.